All right, so you're ready to really dive deep into language learning, huh?
Yeah.
I bet you're already picturing yourself like just effortlessly navigating a bustling market in some foreign country.
Yeah.
Connecting with locals, maybe on a deeper level, or even like rocking a job interview that requires some serious bilingual skills.
For sure.
It's exciting stuff, and we're here to help you get there quick and effectively.
It's amazing how much a new language can just open up your world.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. The how is really key. There's a ton of information out there, and it can feel pretty overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to break it all down for you.
Yeah.
First things first, choosing the language itself.
Right.
What are some things people should think about beyond just the coolness factor?
Well, think about it like an investment.
Okay.
What are your goals,
Right.
Do you want to connect with your heritage? Maybe give your career a boost?
Yeah.
Or maybe just enjoy foreign films without subtitles. Those are all valid reasons, but they'll point you towards different languages.
I see what you mean. So if somebody's really drawn to Japanese culture, like we mentioned earlier, that's a great starting point.
For sure.
But what if they're thinking, Spanish would look really good on my resume?
Yeah.
Is that good enough?
It can be, especially if there's a local community where you can practice.
Right.
Language learning thrives on using it in the real world.
Totally.
But also think about how similar or different the language is from what you already know. Jumping from English to Mandarin is a much bigger leap than, say, going from English to Spanish.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't want to set yourself up for unnecessary difficulty, right?
Exactly.
But, okay. So once you've picked your language,
Right.
how do you actually get started?
Yeah.
I feel like everyone talks about immersion,
Yeah.
but what does that even really mean?
Immersion is all about creating an environment where you're constantly exposed to the language.
Okay.
It's more than just textbook study. Think about labeling everything in your house with its foreign language equivalent.
Really?
And don't just stop at basic labels. Get creative with it.
Yeah.
Instead of just writing the portal through which I view the world.
I love that.
It sounds kind of silly.
Yeah.
But it really makes it stick.
It's like tricking your brain into learning, right?
Exactly.
What about media?
Yeah.
I feel like everyone says you should watch movies and stuff, but that can feel overwhelming at first.
Yeah, you got to start small.
Okay.
Children's shows are actually great for this.
Right.
Simple language, repetitive storylines. And you can find dubbed versions of pretty much anything online these days.
Oh, for sure.
And don't worry about understanding every single word right away.
Right.
It's really just about getting your ear accustomed to the sounds and rhythms of the language.
So it's kind of like passive soaking in at the beginning. But eventually we've got to get to actually talking, right?
Exactly.
Which brings us to vocabulary. How many words do you actually need to know?
A good base of about 1,000 words will let you handle most everyday conversations.
Wow. Okay, 1,000.
But forget just rote memorization.
Yeah.
Try the Leitner system for flashcards.
Okay.
It focuses on this thing called spaced repetition, which basically brings up words you struggle with more often than the others.
Okay.
And this is actually backed by research.
Really?
You're statistically more likely to remember a word after seeing it maybe around 16 times.
16 times. Okay. That feels manageable.
Yeah.
But are flashcards the only way to do it?
Oh, definitely not. Some people find them kind of boring.
Yeah.
Vocabulary building apps are great. They kind of gamify the process.
Okay.
They use things like quizzes and games and even personalized stories to keep you engaged.
Cool.
It's a much more enjoyable and honestly more effective way to learn.
So it's about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
But even with a bunch of words under your belt, there's still the hurdle of speaking and listening.
Right.
Any tips there?
Think about babies. They learn by mimicking, even if they don't understand everything at first. You can do the same thing.
Okay.
Find podcasts or videos with transcripts, listen and repeat, and try to mimic the intonation, the pauses, everything.
Wow.
It trains your ear and your mouth at the same time.
That's awesome. And if you're worried about sounding silly at first, there are apps for that too, right?
Yeah.
Ones that analyze your pronunciation and give you feedback.
Exactly like having a personal pronunciation coach right in your pocket.
I love that. And once you feel a bit more confident, find a language partner online.
Yeah.
There are tons of communities dedicated to language exchange. It's a great way to practice real-life conversation and learn from each other's mistakes.
For sure.
And speaking of mistakes, I think that's something a lot of people really struggle with.
Yeah.
It can be so discouraging to mess up when you're trying to learn.
It's totally normal, though.
Right.
I once spent a whole week using the wrong verb tense in Italian. Embarrassing, yes. But I never forgot it after that.
That's true.
Mistakes are feedback. They show you where you need to focus your energy.
So it's all about adopting a growth mindset.
Exactly.
You're not bad at languages. You're just learning and growing.
Precisely. A growth mindset means embracing those challenges, learning from setbacks, and recognizing that your abilities aren't fixed.
Right.
The more you practice, the better you'll become. It's a continuous journey of improvement.
So we've covered choosing a language immersion, vocabulary, and speaking practice. What's the big takeaway here for our listeners?
Learning a new language is a multifaceted journey.
Okay.
But it's incredibly rewarding.
Right.
It's about finding the strategies that work for you, embracing the process, and never being afraid to make mistakes.
That's so true.
Remember, you're not just learning words and grammar. You're opening yourself up to new cultures, new perspectives, and even new ways of thinking.
Absolutely. And the amazing thing is, studies have shown that language learning has all sorts of cognitive benefits too.
Oh, for sure.
Improved memory, sharper focus, better problem-solving skills. The list goes on and on. So dive in, explore online courses, find a language partner, and make language learning a part of your daily routine. And as you embark on this journey, ask yourself, what aspect of this language excites me the most? What's my first step toward fluency?
Gotta be learned.